Spanish football has a rich place in European history, be it Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, or the player poaching Real Madrid who will be burned to the ground before I let them anywhere near Trent. You've got your own toys, go play with them and stop trying to take mine. With that being said, welcome to Good Sport Reviews, and this is 10 Spanish football clubs that no longer exist. Number 10, Irish FC. We're starting at Catalonia for a little known club called Irish FC, who were founded on the 27th of October 1901 following a merger between Espanyol FC and Catalonia FC. During the first 2 years of their life, the club only competed in friendly matches and a few minor tournaments which were organised by the Spanish Gymnastics Federation, including the 1902 medal of the Spanish Gymnastics Federation, where the club finished third behind Catala FC and second placed FC Barcelona. They also competed in several other competitions, including the 1901 Copa Pergamino, which took place between September and November of that year and saw them finish as runners-up once again. Sadly, their last match took place on the 18th of October 1903, with them losing 3-2 to Barcelona and seeing them dissolve shortly after, only to be replaced by ex-Sporting Club and almost all of its players joining Barcelona ahead of the 1903-04 season, including many key players like Juli Marial, who became the 6th president of the Blaugrana, and other players like Comamala and Font, who became key players in Barca's first ever golden team of the early 1910s. Number 9, CP Merida. After being founded in 1912 under the name Sportiva Emitenesi, CP Merida became one of the first teams from Extremadura to play professional football before being admitted into the Tercera division in 1943, in which they spent 4 years, finishing 4th, 8th, 10th and 7th before being relegated to the regional leagues and spending the next few years bouncing between the 3rd and 4th tiers before what is considered the golden age in Merida's history in the 1990s. After being promoted into the Segunda Division for the first time ever in 91, the club finished 7th, 9th and 9th again before the incredible day came where they won the Spanish division and gained promotion into La Liga in 1995. They were relegated after finishing 21st in the top flight and losing 20 of the 42 games played, and they went through one more promotion and relegation before they sadly declared bankruptcy in 2000, folding shortly after. A successor club named Merida UD was formed following this, but the original club is no longer with us. Number 8, Club Aviación Nacional. The history of Club Aviación Nacional is one that is often confused and twisted based on the reason for their dissolving in 1939. So, after the formation of the side in 1937 during the Spanish Civil War by 3 aviation officers, the club went on to achieve moderate levels of success, winning the Aragon Regional Championship in 1939 and qualifying for the Copa del Rey as a result of this. This is even more impressive when you consider that the side was made up of soldiers who possessed football skills and not full-time professionals like several other clubs at the time. Instead, they had to recruit young players amongst the Air Force and managed to gather just enough to organise football matches, one of which included a 2-0 victory over Sevilla in the quarter-finals of the Copa del Generalizo in 1939. So why is their history so mistaken? Well, back in 1939, the side had enough finances to qualify for the chance to face any regional club they wanted and were promised a place in the Primera Division ahead of the 1939-40 season. However, the Royal Spanish Football Association denied this, so the side made the pitch to join up with either Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid, with the latter being the side to agree to an arrangement which would see the side become Athletic Aviación Club. The reason for the confusion is that many people make the assumption that Club Aviación Nacional were the original Atletico Madrid, but they only formed a merger to save the side from bankruptcy in the late 1930s, meaning they were in fact the club's saviour rather than their origin. Number 7, Sestao Football Club. This is a side who, despite being around for 80 years, didn't actually achieve too much, with their greatest achievement being the 6th place finish in the 2nd Division back in 1987, with them also reaching a Copa del Rey round of 16 in 1992. They spent 17 seasons in the Segunda Division before making the move to the Segunda Division B from 1985 to 1993. After the 1995-96 season, Sestao had been relegated after suffering a major drop-off, which saw them finish in 17th place, and due to major economic struggles, the club were forced to dissolve later that year, being replaced by Sestao River Club, who are still active today in the Primera Federación. Number 6, ex-Sporting Club. Earlier on at entry number 10, we discussed Irish FC. Well, here we have the side who occupied the vacant pitch left by the side at the Nuevo Velodromo de Barcelona. Founded as one of the oldest clubs in Catalonia, ex-Sporting Club struggled and had to suspend its activities due to a lack of players, as most of its squad were university students who enrolled to study in schools outside of the Catalonia region of Spain. This meant that they had to think outside the box and actually convinced Espanyol's remaining players to join the side, which saw a major increase in the club's quality, and as a result, they won the Catalan Championship 3 times in a row between 1905 and 1908. There were controversial moments, with other clubs accusing the side of favourable decisions, supposedly from the club's director Isidre Lloret, before they joined the Copa del Rey in 1908. However, the club were restructured in 1909, with Espanyol ceasing all activities and several of the club's players relocating to Barcelona in a scramble, and the side reached out to several other sides to acquire players in order to compete. Due to the restructure, they ceased operations and were changed to Real Club Deportivo Espanyol. Number 5, FC Barcelona C. Barcelona's history all begins with their youth system, La Masia, being credited with producing some of the greatest players in footballing history, and many of them have played for the club we're talking about now, FC Barcelona C. We will mention them later on, but after being founded in 1967 as Barcelona Amateur, the side play their games in the Mini Estado, a stadium located within the club's facilities on diagonal attached to the new camp, and it saw them win several pieces of major silverware, including a Generality Cup, 3 4th division titles, and 6 domestic trophies. Now, youth teams in Spain all compete in the same domestic pyramid, which sounds great, but sadly when Barcelona C achieved promotion to the 3rd division, they were ineligible to play due to FC Barcelona B competing in the same flight. So club president Joan Laporta chose not to inscribe the team in the Primera Catalana for the 2007-2008 season, and they disbanded shortly afterwards, meaning the club, which has boasted incredible players like Lionel Messi, Mikel Arteta, Pedro, Carlos Puyol, Pepe Reina, Victor Valdez and more, were quietly removed from the division and ceased to exist. Number 4, FC Jumilla. FC Jumilla were founded in 2011 as a replacement for the dissolved Jumilla CF. The side were brought in place of Mortilla CF in the Tercera division, and they were included in the 4th level of the Spanish football pyramid ahead of the 2012-13 campaign. The club gained promotion into the Segunda Division B and even qualified for the Copa del Rey in the process. They were then shortly taken over by Chinese football commentators Li Jiang and Tang Hui, who they kept the club on a positive trajectory, with them agreeing a deal shortly afterwards with Wolverhampton Wanderers, which would see the Spanish side receive players on loan to gain first team experience. However, this was as good as things got, with them suffering a relegation in 2019 after losing a relegation playoff to Real Union, and this meant that the club simply wasn't receiving enough money to pay its players' wages, and with this in mind, the owners disbanded the club in August of that year after only an 8-season existence. Number 3, Aguilas FC. Many football clubs have had rebrands throughout their lifespan, and Aguilas FC are no exception to the rule. While they were founded in 1925, they started life actually back in 1896 as Sporting Club Aguilino, which was a team consisting of the best players in the local region of the 1900s, due to the fact that they won all 26 of their matches played that season without conceding a single goal. The side disappeared in 1907, and there were simply no rivals to compete with, and replaced by Club Deportivo Aguilino that same year, who went undefeated for the next decade. Fast forward to the previously mentioned 1925, and Aguilas FC were formed, with them playing their first match against Real Mallorca that year. They started life in the regional leagues before eventually making their debut in the Segunda Division B in 1998, which they remained in for 2 seasons before being relegated in 20th place in 2000. They bounced between Divisions 3 and 4 for the remainder of their lifespan, before being disbanded in 2008 following the 2008 elections, which saw newly founded president Antonio Vicente Garcia dissolve the side due to serious economic problems. Number 2, CF Palencia. Palencia was a region in Spain which boasted many football clubs, but few had as interesting a backstory as CF Palencia, who went through multiple rebrands and difficulties during their early years. The side were constantly on the cusp of promotion, missing out once during the 1970-71 playoff finals, losing to Real Oviedo thanks to a phenomenal performance from the future Real Madrid player Mariano Garcia Ramon, who prevented the side from gaining promotion before they eventually achieved the feat in 1979 under the management of Real Madrid legend Francisco Gento, following a 1-0 victory over Pontevedra CF. Following this, they went on to achieve their best ever season in the 1982-83 campaign, finishing 5th in the Spanish second division and missing out on promotion into La Liga by just 3 points. And because of the financial struggles stemming from this, in a similar fashion to Derby County, the club disbanded and dissolved, being replaced by Club Deportivo Cristo Olímpico, who were originally Palencia's feeding club. They were relegated to the 4th tier by the Spanish Football Federation due to non-payment of wages, and they disbanded yet again after amassing €1.7 million worth of debt. And number 1, the Spanish Girls Club. For a bit of a change, we're going to focus on the origins of women's football in Spain, with this organisation being credited as the first of its kind in Spanish football history and considered as one of the pioneering women's football teams in Catalonia. In 1914, Barcelona player Paco Bru created the Spanish Girls Club after being inspired by women's teams playing in England, and even acquired the side its own headquarters. But sadly, the world at the time was not welcoming of such an idea, with press reactions presenting the idea as misogynistic, and male relatives of the players even protested the idea of the team existing, and even going as far as to deny the ideas of the players wearing shorts and showering after matches to feel comfortable, denying permission for these things to happen. The club was slated with derogatory feedback and were described as marichmos, which is translated to tomboys, which at the time was viewed as offensive. But this didn't stop the side, and to begin with, their first match drew more spectators than expected, and the 2 teams of Montserrat and Giralda cemented their place in football history at a time when male sport dominated the scene. And that's our list. Let me know in the comments down below if there's any teams I've missed, and let me know any ideas for videos that you guys want to see. Please make sure to click like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.